Hi, friends. It's Joe Chadburn, the Ambassador Network Director here at World Missionary Press. Welcome to today's broadcast. So glad to have Yuri Ilnitski, and we have a special guest evangelist, his daughter, Sophia. Welcome, Yuri. Sophia.
Thank you very much. Today, our topics you can mention.
Yes, we're going to talk about evangelizing in the schools. So, yes. So bring us up to speed. What's going on in the schools? How can we minister in the schools?
Yeah, as we previously tell, this is our experience, but we're gonna share how we do it, how God give us wisdom to do it. You can use your own imagination, creation, but we're gonna share how God, because our daughter is going to the public school. We purposely put her, we have in our church a private Christian school, but I'm personally with my wife, we say, okay, since we have we have a knowledge, we serve God, and we have a time for our kids, so let's grow them with the public school so they have interact with people, because this is what our mission is. Mm-hmm. We can, as a Christians, we can put our kids in private schools, Christian private schools. They never may know anything about gross words. They may never know anything about bad stuff, but they also may never have an opportunity and to learn how to spread gospel among non-Christian people. And basically, this is how life starts. When you start growing and you start interacting with you don't need to have achieved 40-year-old and then say, okay, now I'm ready to serve Lord. The interaction and sharing about Jesus Christ, it's starting from even young age. And Sophia, we're gonna share when she came to public school.
And I will let me interject, because we have some people that are going to be listening that send their children to public school. Both of ours were homeschooled, but I'm not an advocate where there's this cookie cutter approach that this is the way everybody needs to homeschool, everybody needs to private school. I've seen some of the most wonderful people I know, came through the public school system. And many really have ministered in the public school system wonderfully. I'm a product of public schools. So don't tune out. Don't just shut this down if you're listening to that. Because I've been in Christian schools too. I taught a little bit in a Christian school, and when I was on staff at churches with schools, and a lot of times the kids that were in those schools were the ones the public schools didn't want. They got kicked out of that. So it was more of a rehabilitation kind of thing. So let's not, just if you're listening, don't put this in a box, okay? But be open to this, because there are a lot of people in public schools. Let's not forget Moses came up, he was schooled in Egypt, and God used him mightily. So don't put God in a box, and let's really listen to what Yuri and Sophia have to say here.
Yeah, this is our, as a Christian, we need to search opportunity on every circumstances where we are, and that's why we're sharing this another topic where we're thinking how we can be. Because you need to remember, we just talked another moment about the compassion. You just need to remember those kids, some of them, they growing on where they never see their parents. Yes. 6 o'clock in the morning, parents left. 8 o'clock in the morning, they already, in the evening, parents just came. So they may not have an interaction, they may not have much things to say. Or maybe, like you just mentioned, maybe they just live on social level, whereas they cannot provide them much more about Christ, instead hate, drugs, and other stuff. So
some children don't really have parents, you know, so this
kids, they even doesn't have parents or have parents. So
yes.
for us Christians, we need to step in.
Children who are abused. I mean, there's so many situations, you know, and I mean those years are so formative, but there's so many horrible things that goes on in the lives of our youth, you know, with suicidal thoughts, and there's just a lot of things happening in this day and age. So absolutely, you know, to have the presence, to have Christian presence in the midst of public schools, and that's students and teachers, I believe is such a wonderful thing.
And also, you can watch, I recommend you, you can watch God Is Not Dead, this movie. Also, your kids can be also a witness to professors, to teachers. Everybody needs Christ. Everybody needs to know about God. So don't take this as, like Joe said, don't take us as a square box, because think much more bigger, because our God is like huge among us. He don't have any limits. And we the message what we're gonna share today, this is our experience. We're not limiting. Just use your imagination, how you can use through your kids or through your profession. If you are a teacher, we also gonna give you some tips for teachers, how you can use. I give it to many teachers, and when they see the other point of view, they get relaxed, they get much more legally educated. It's not legal advices, but I give you legal tips. So you can research what you own and just confirm if this is appropriate for your schools. We're gonna share that.
Very good.
But that things. We as a Christians, we need to have a compassion and remember that everyone who is surrounding us, and if they don't know Jesus or if they not have a good relationship with God, this is where our missionary field begins.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
When Sophia starts, she was in a kindergarten, and they give her project, 3D project, and they say use
recycle to make a robot.
To make it robot, any recycled things to make it robot. So you can speak louder and just say what we decided to do, how we can shine. This is your opportunity. Same things. You kids will have this kind of assignments, and this is how we transform to the preaching gospel.
So she's making. Let me make sure I got this right. Her assignment was to make a robot out of recycled materials.
Yes.
That sounds like fun.
So we thought of like making something like a girl doll on recycle, but then I had an idea. Why don't we do something that kids will need? So we made up a robot that had this little Bible that opens up, and when it opens, there's a verse, John 3:16, and so our principal, he liked it, so he put it on the very front. So when parents entered and kids, they could open up the little Bible and read the verse.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we may have included those pictures later on to you guys, so you can.
I'd love to put that in a link or to put that in the blog in a blog in the near future. If you can email me that'd be great.
Yeah, we can email you. So the little robot. What kids' reaction was? They say, because the robot, it was from Superbook.
Yeah.
They have aerobic, remember?
Yes.
So we applied the same aerobic from Superbook. And some of them they know, some of them they not. But what's the reaction? How the kids, did they like it? Did they hate it? Did they was interested about? What do you think?
Well, when there's like mostly unicorns and like dinosaur robots.
Mm-hmm.
Out because it had lots of color and it had a little flap. So the kids were interested in what was in the flap. They thought there was candy, but when they opened it, it was even better than candy. And they found little verses on pieces of paper. They took it out and kept it with them. Some people, their parents worked at school and their parents were like not Christians. So they told the kids not to take it, but the kids took it and said that the robot is so cute. So they didn't really like care what their parents said. They just did what they liked.
Yeah. So the interaction was amazing. Kids going to the lunch or after lunch, and they just stepping over that robot. And that robot was preaching the gospel at his own. But this is
Jesus uses recycled robots.
Amen.
That's awesome.
And the another one, on the first grade, you have another one that you have to do something from tube, cone, using cone. No, not cone. What's the name?
Plastic bags.
No, the
Out of recycled soda can.
Soda can, or what's the name of long tube?
Toilet paper rolls.
Toilet paper rolls or anything.
Towel.
No, the
paper towel roll.
The name figure. What they call? What's the name? Trubka, cylinder of the cylinder.
Yeah, yes. Cardboard cylinder. Yeah.
Cylinder shape, anything from cylinder shapes. So they learn in cylinder shapes, and Sophia and I, we came with one idea, and you just share what you did from your cylinder shape on recycle education.
So after Sunday, during Sunday we were learning about Noah and the whale. And then when I came home, me and my dad had an idea that we could make a Noah and a whale project.
And Jonah or Noah?
No, Jonah.
Jonah, okay.
And so we took a cylinder and drew a fish. And then we put a string and connected a little picture of Jonah, and put it inside the cylinder, like
get swollen.
Like Jonah was swollen by the big whale.
So we create this from plastic soda. No, not aluminum. It was Coca-Cola bottle. Coca-Cola bottle. So, and when you bring to the school, anybody get rejected, say no, you cannot share Christian things here, or how they react?
Our principal accepted our project again.
And how about your teacher?
My teacher, she loved it. She actually recommended it to my principal. And then when they put it out in the hallway, the kids, they weren't like, they liked it. And when they saw that there was a little guy hanging from the whale, they thought it was fun to put inside. And when they would put it inside, they'll see a Bible verse.
That's pretty amazing.
And they would read it, and then they, the kids at dismissal, they got so excited, they all ran there that they almost wanted to take it home.
And we put also some Bible verses, and we put be obedient to God. So that little project, we also going to send you a picture. It was preaching. It was preaching the gospel to every kid and the parents who visit in the school, because it was an exhibition and it was chosen. So you need to, like our brother Job said, you need to think out of the box. If you come standard way, may school not accept this. They may not allow, but through the school project, you can put whatever you want, but to accomplish the project. And if they if the reaction of the kids or teachers and parents, they accept it, they chose us as the winner, the content with the project will do their job. So this is the approach what we take, because she accomplished the job. She make a cylinder project, but also put content that preaching the gospel to glorify God. And kids like this interaction, they like this approach, and they was very much interactive. Share with me how when you start classes, how you introduce yourself to your kid classmates, And which gift, because I know you have in class that you guys, when you start the school gift exchange, what you do?
So when I was starting second grade, well, in other grades, my family had an idea. What if we don't give kids little kid booklets, the way to Jesus,
Way to God,
or
yes.
little coloring books?
Mhm.
And when we did, the kids, as soon as they got it, they put them in book bags. And the same girl whose mom didn't like it in first kindergarten, the
Mhm.
girl took the booklet and said she will hide it from her mom, but she will color all the pages by the end of the year.
Yeah. So you exchange gifts, you put candy and little book or coloring book and give to all the new classmates?
Yes, and sometimes the kids snuck out the books and started coloring it and reading it.
Mhm. So they're liking those coloring books. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
This is another. What you do in Valentine's Day in school? What's school? Because public school not allowed to do any Christian stuff by the law because they are separate. Did you have opportunity to do anything else? Like, for example, what's the name? Valentine's Day? What's your?
So on Valentine's Day, we were supposed to put presents in each little bag or box. And we had an idea to make this little card that had a Bible verse on it. And then on the back has like this little decoration that would distract the kids. And when I put the thing face down and the kids saw little hearts or something, they thought there might be something inside. So when they turned it around, they saw a Bible verse. And they couldn't reject it because the card was so pretty. So they would just always take it out and put it like inside of their book, like a bookmark. And every time they open it, they could read the Bible verse.
That's wonderful.
We also use literature. She put with the candies and the hearts. We put little booklets. They call "Way to God," where it's having some little pictures. So kids love it that, and it's Bible verses only, and it's very interactive for kids, and they like it. This in school, and again, since this is a gift, it's acceptable in school because you can bring anything. You can bring Pokemon or whatever, or you can bring a little book. It doesn't matter. It's a gift in a school system. It's accepted, and this is how they share.
That's wonderful.
So once you've done these things, what's the kids' reaction? Did everybody turns against you, or you create something new in the school?
Well, the kids, like the other projects, they accepted it. They just thought it was the most special thing in their candy bag. They were expecting candy from me, but they got a little verse, and they always liked it. And sometimes the kids even ask me for some more for their little siblings.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you create during recess time or lunchtime? What's you create? Which group you create? Let's tell me that.
So the kids, since I saw the kids really like these Bible-based stuff, I invented a prayer team during lunch so they could pray before lunch and sometimes breakfast. So my prayer team, they come and I ask them, do they want to pray with me or do they want me to pray for them? Some kids, their parents are there and they want somebody to be with them. So they ask me to pray for them. And then they say, that thing sounds interesting. Can you teach me how to do it? And I teach them prayer and tell them you can do it every time you feel alone. And they do it. And when I was like in all the grades, they kept on expanding.
That's wonderful.
And on the recess time, what you do? You take your coloring Bible, yes, and you start reading. And what's happening?
So when I was taking out my little coloring book, I had one too. When the other kids from other classes, they came around me. They asked, "What is that little coloring book? Can I have one too?" And they every time during recess, a new kid will come and try to and would want one.
Yeah, so And those coloring books you can get from World Missionary Press, both free of charge. They have a very interactive, those colors and Bible verses where the kids love it. Kids, they needed this. They want to know, and how Sophia just sharing. Some of them, they get anxious. Some of them, they get worried. And Sophia was sharing, there is somebody who you can talk, who you can have your best friend. And this is where kids need it, because when they go outside of the home, they don't have nobody who is standing for them, who is advocate for them or anything like this. But Sophia was sharing to many kids that there is a God, they can speak to him. And
can I share how I gave out my little coloring book? So I asked some kids, do they know the Bible? And some of them, they said yes. So I gave them a Bible question. Mm-hmm. And that's how I gave my little coloring book to them.
Wonderful.
Can you share how God used you in school for medical, what's the name? Medical assistant the medical, what's the name? Nurse, the medical nurse and staff. Something happened. God prepared for everybody to see something, a living testimony of living God. This is where office workers, medical nurse, and everybody else get attention much in school. What God's doing through the kids. Can you share what God done and why everybody gets so much attention that we are serving living God and He is answering our prayers? Please share.
So one day when I was learning in 3rd grade, something red started appearing on my skin. When I asked the teacher, she told me to go to the nurse. The nurse said that I would have to be home for 3 months.
Wow.
3 months. And
weeks, I think.
Couple weeks or a couple of months, depending on what it was. So when I came home, we started...
And she identified this as a how? What is this?
And it was chicken pox.
She identified, the nurse said, this is chicken pox. You must be staying in the home until it's gone. Mm-hmm. And what happened next?
And then when we went home, I was praying with my family. And the next morning, somehow the red stuff were gone.
Thank you, Jesus. All right.
And then when I went to school, the nurse said, how is that possible?
No, why are you in school? I told you to be in home, yes? Mm-hmm. And you have a chicken pox. And what you say? I don't.
I said, I don't. And I showed her my arm. Mm-hmm.
And she looked barely everywhere, yes?
She looked everywhere, and she couldn't even find one little red dot.
That's wonderful.
And she said, what cure, what medication you take, yes?
Yes, and I just said we prayed to God, and God healed me.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight.
Yeah, but while that inspection happened, the other workers, they start getting, and they start, words start spreading over the school. They say, and what the nurse say, that she was working there about 20-something years, and did she experience this anywhere?
She said it was a miracle, and she said there were other kids who had sicknesses, and some kids had chicken pox. They never came back after the next day.
Mm-hmm. And they was amazed. And Sophia, and you, what you say? That you asking stony God or wood God or paper God?
I asked the real God to heal me, and I wanted God to show a miracle so people could believe in Him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she testified that we ask living God. We ask
Praise the Lord.
And He hears the prayer. And she used this as a living testimony to many kids. And once a word spreading in the school, many kids even later start approaching to Sophia and say, hey, I need healing this, I need healing that. Mm-hmm. And it was an opportunity to sharing the gospel among the other kids and stuff like this. Yeah.
Wonderful.
I want to recommend because this is what Sophia is reading. Can you show it? And maybe you can introduce to everybody.
Yes, the word works. Yeah.
So this book has a lot of testimonies how help from above and how to know God books help people. And I could share some testimonies that's written.
Not right now, but
this book is about how people's lives were changed. 150 people's lives were changed through how to know God and help from above books.
So we recommend everyone, we give you tips, but also on this book, this is compilation of how lives get changed. And for kids like Sophia, she loved this book, and she's reading like bedtime stories. How God amazing, and sometimes God used those stories through her while she's sharing to other kids, and she gives those stories to other kids based on this book. So I recommend you, everyone, I'm gonna put very enclosed. You can pre-order, I don't know how the World Missionary Press doing with these books. Joe will place also link below. So I recommend everyone, or if there is electronic version, so there is you can read electronically. But this is amazing book. How much things God is doing through His work for His glory, and this is changing 360. And she is loving this book, and she's reading and get encouraged. And God's words is flowing through her, just amazing.
That's wonderful. Yes, I have a copy of that book in my office. I'm working away from home during this, away from work. I'm working at home, but during the quarantine. But I do have that book, and I'll have to look into how we can people can get their hands on that, because it is an amazing book. Yes. Sophia, you are a wonderful guest. Yeah, I interview people all over the world, and you're one of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. That's a powerhouse you got there for a daughter there, Yuri. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, this is new generation that we know that gospel will still spreading until Jesus come back. So we know that new generation is stepping in, and I encourage every parents, remember the kids, they not need to have 20, 30, 40 years old to start sharing the gospel, because they can get to places where you cannot get. And they can talk to the minds that you cannot be able to talk to their levels. And for me, I'm not able to come to their classes. And she have also body class, share how you do in body classes. And the teachers saw what she's doing through the school. They invite her to participate in body class, and tell what you telling those kids from body class.
My teacher, she chose kids like every day who did their work to go to special education to help them out. So every day I went, because I always finished my work. I always went there and blessed all the kids. So and
what you say to them? That they are alone, or they can share what you was telling to those kids, and how their reaction was.
I told them that God loves them and that they are not alone, that God can heal them if they believe in Him. Some of the kids, they could talk a little bit, or they had this little machine. So when they say, "Can you please tell me more about Him?" And I had some of the coloring books, so I passed them out to these kids. And during free time, I helped read the stories to them, and they always enjoyed it and wished for me to come every day.
That's wonderful.
You see, even that moment, those kids, they are alone, and they know that something is not right with their body. But how I can serve? I cannot be there. But to new generation, we can extend the hands of Jesus Christ toward those kids, towards the kids who in need, and they can get encouraged, they can get supported, because many of us, we blessed, we have everything in our body, everything functioning well, but some of them, they're not that fortunate. And through the kids, You can spread the gospel even more farther and even maybe change somebody's lives. Because if that kid, even to disability, but if he get understood that he have a friend who is always with him and establish relationship with God, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yes.
We have many testimonies. She coming every day something new.
Yeah.
But share about the games, how you play with the kids, and they say butterflies, correct? And what you maybe some young listeners they gonna watch, and what you want to tell them about video gaming and how you play games. Start with the game and then turn the video games and other stuff. So maybe it will be helpful to other kids who is watching this video.
So during recess, some of my friends or buddies, they said, let's play Chase the Monster. And they said, Sophia, you're going to be the monster. And I said, why monsters? Why can't it be butterflies or flowers? And I said, monsters is like devil. He's the one who's trying to get everybody down there. Why don't we play butterflies? Butterflies.
Then you say, did I look like a monster?
And I said, I don't know. Do I look like a monster?
And
and the kid said, no, nobody looks like a monster. And
you created, and you say, we are created.
We are created. We are created each special and beautiful. We are not created with horns and scales. And then the kid said, and then some of the kids started protesting and said, butterflies. And then we changed the game to, instead of chasing the monster, to chasing the butterfly.
Much better. Yes.
What do you want to say to kids who like to play video games and computers and phones? What's your vision? What you telling those kids when you see in the classes in the school? What's recommendation you give to them?
Mostly when I see kids who play games, they usually get bad grades. They usually suffer, and I notice some people kids barely spend their time with their parents, even though their parents are home. They sit in their rooms locked up and playing games. They're always spending time away from the parents and from God. They're just getting closer to the hook, to devil.
So this is like what?
It's like a hook, like pulling you. It's like when you're getting out of a boat into the river, and then there's like a hook pulling you deeper into the water.
Yeah, those
remember,
games, a lot of people are addicted to those things, and it consumes them, and it becomes their world. And there is an element of evil in a lot of games that really draw people. So not that, and I'm not I'm not totally against video games or anything. If somebody wants to I play chess or whatever, but but there are a lot of things that involve spirituality.
There is a lot of educational games. We're talking about the games that produce in you and in kids or in your things, anger, stress, nervous. So the people get impatient. They not want to, like Sophia mentioned, they fall behind educational achievements.
Yes.
So those video games, it's not gaining you anything.
Some of them are filled with murder and crime and just killing people and everything. It's just no. Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%.
And those parents, if you're watching, if you're asking yourself why your kids are irritated, why your kids don't want to talk with you, question first: did they have an electronic device in their hands? This is first solution, quick solution. I know if it's possible, talk to them and just explain them that this is not it. Right now, electronics they use as a weapon. So explain that those electronics, it can go benefit way, but it also can do harmful way. So they identify how much time is needed, which kind of beneficial things to be in a school, and And there is much more educational games that she is playing a lot of many other games, but there is some games that they are, like she's saying, it's a hook. It's separate families, parents, and your achievements. And you may ask yourself, why is my kid is falling behind on the school achievements? Did I put so much effort and maybe tutoring, but my kid is failing? There is an answer for you. All right.
That's good. That's good advice you're giving them, Sophia. Very good advice. Praise the Lord. They're blessed to have you there. Yes.
The last thing we want to share, thank you very much, Sophia, may God bless you. But I want to say something to the teachers, principals, and schools and workers in the school. By the law, you are not allowed to teach. So, and if you are Christians, and I met so many teachers in different schools since I was interpreter, I was visiting many interpretation session, and they was Christian, and they never step up and say something about God. And I asked them, as a missionary, as an evangelist, I'll always be ready to ask. This is very powerful tool. And I asked those teachers, I say, are you Christian? I see some cross, like you just other day mentioned, have a t-shirt, have some necklace, and all the stuff. I like to observe, and I like statistics, and when I look this and I say, are you Christian? Oh, nice cross. Why are you wearing this cross? And they say, because I'm Christian. I say, okay, if you're Christian, did you preach the gospel? Did you have opportunity to preach the gospel? And many of them, they mention the law, which one they interpret incorrectly. They say, well, I'm Christian, but I'm not allowed to teach in a school because the school is federal institution, and I'm not allowed to share gospel. I'm not allowed to teach. I'm not allowed to, if I do this, I will be fired. And I look to them with very much compassion, and I say, sister or brother, I say, it's not all true. Mm-hmm. We need to be wise, because God give us wisdom. And I give them other point of view, which one they like, how many years I spent it in vain. And I told, and I gonna share what I say. And they say, I've been here so many times. And I told them, I say, look, you are here. They're not gonna fire you because you're Christian. If God placed you in this place, it's because of some reason. You have been power to speak to those people who, let me decline some call, who in need, those kids who in need, this new generation. And they say, but I'm not allowed. I say, not really true. You're not allowed to teach. Mm-hmm. It's big difference, teaching and sharing. And I explained them, you're not allowed to teach that Christianity or about Christianity, but you can teach as a history thing what's been happening, or, for example, they do rival or they do war, but we do, but for example, Jesus healed or Christians don't do this, or let's say celebration of the Halloween, but Christians don't celebrate this. It's not teaching, it's your opinion. Mm. And if you say, I'm not doing this, or I'm telling you not to do this, then it's become teaching. But once you're sharing opinion, let's say another topic, the communist or Hitler was killed those many people, and you can say Christians, they love, their principle is love, yes? So you put in comparison, you're not teaching them, you just give them facts, historical facts, and on comparison, then it's not become teaching. Then with law, you are correct way. You are able to compare. Don't need to be you Christian and you take, World War II was a bad, but Hindus or Muslims, since you are Christian, why you put in comparison all the religion to compare something, historical facts, when you have it right there, gospel in your hands? Just open your mouth and give in comparison something what will be valuable, or this behavior, or bullying. Just use those tools. If you're talking about bullying, you can say also Bible as a historical document saying that bullying, it's not good, and give some supporting topics.
I remember, it's funny you say that, because I remember one of my favorite teachers was a history teacher. He was also my football coach. And this particular gentleman, when he shared history, he would dabble and just share a little bit about church history and how certain things fit into that. But he would also say, he said, I can only go so far. I wish that I could teach you more church history, but it's not in the curriculum, or more about how, Christianity influenced, And then, because a lot of times the kids think they're going to search that, especially we didn't have internet back in that day, but that's the first thing. If you're like, well, this isn't allowed, then the first thing you're going to do is go look it up, when you get home, or it's going to make you inquisitive. So I think, those things, imagine, because, religion in general is part of our history, is part of world history. And there are different ways that that certain things are interwoven, and there's certain events in history that you just can't overlook. And if you leave those parts out, and there's a lot of revisionist history and things out there, but to lay it out there where people can research things and be aware of things, and hey, find out the spiritual climate of this. When you to dig deeper, find out what was behind this. What amazes me is that, like, the Roman Empire, they would just leave children by the wayside just to die. Women were second-class citizens. There was really no such thing as Christianity brought in so much as far as healthcare, educational systems. There's so much that's happened since the cross because of Christian influence that has changed the world, for the better. I mean, some wonderful things.
You're right. We need to remember, Bible, it's not just spiritual book, or Christian book, or religious book. Bible is also document. Bible is also archaeological things. Bible is also astronomical thing. Bible is health, like biology. Bible is psychology. Bible is historical document, because have a proven historically and witnessly. So there is so many witness, and this is history book also. So need to remember this, apply this, and you just mentioned, for example, we have last month or 2 months ago, Black History Month, and kids was sharing about the what's the name? Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And they shared that he was a Christian, that he was a believer. This is nothing. If you have in an assignment as a teacher, Martin Luther King, don't just say he was the only black man. Say that he was a Christian, he was a pastor, he was a living, proving Christian-based believer, that he is applying his life what he was believing. He was saying, we're gonna do everything by peace. So if you have that opportunity, teach kids what's your background, and it's legal and it's possible. That's why we're sharing with you those, because this is also, I feel that as a new generation, you have that influence. Kids may forget who is who was a governor in a county, but they're gonna always remember who was a teacher in second grade or third grade or fourth grade or eighth grade or university. So you have that influence in your hands. Use it wisely. Or if you are parents, we give you some tips on which one you can use it. Share with your friends on social media and Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Use it, share it, so the others can have these ideas in the legal way, because teaching and sharing opinion is two different things. And when I talk to many teachers about that, even principals, they will get amazed. They say, oh, I was reading, I was thinking, not teaching, it's not speaking. Mm-hmm. It's not. If you take legal way, legal term, teaching, it's something that you are forcing to but teaching, speaking opinions is totally different things. So remember this, and you will be amazed how much, if you are a parent, you can also share to your teachers or principals, because they may think in the same way. Teaching, it's not speaking. So this
and the thing is, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Know what the laws are, and also know how you can minister, and share with people within, what the laws allow.
Again, saying about the laws.
The influence of teachers, anyhow. When children see their love, they see all of that. Now, parents are following teachers on social media. People know people in the community. So there's opportunities for these teachers as well outside of the classroom, like never before, to really, to share the love of Jesus. So, yeah, it's huge.
And the most important, very important, very, very, very important, just pay attention. Never argue. Mm-hmm. If you parents, if you teacher, never argue. Stated your opinion and never argue. Don't go in arguments. Don't go to fight. Don't escalate. Mm-hmm. If you're Christian, don't escalate situation. If somebody don't like it, just leave this, change the strategy, change the gears, like Americans say, and use these things wisely, okay? And remember, World Missionary Press, they supply those books and those coloring books, what Sophia was telling, they have on a paper. If you live overseas, you can find this on website and download and print it in your computer. It's also available, so use it and be blessed. This is our recommendations to you. This is what we share, and hopefully will be this video useful for you. And if you have comments or any ideas, please comment too. This is we like to hear comments. We like to hear testimonies, because this is where our knowledge has become, not wisdom, knowledge. We can share knowledge, how we experience. And if you have any other thoughts, or if you are a lawyer, if you have any legal advices, be glad to send the link or contact the World Missionary Press and give some other advices if you can, as a Christian. This would be very good.
Praise the Lord. Well, once again, thank you so much, Yuri. Thank you, Sophia. This has been great. To all of our listeners, viewers, we love you so much. Have a great week. God bless you.
God bless you. We love you all.
Amen.